Hello and welcome to Calm the Pharm podcast, where pharmacy business meets legal wisdom, minus the headache. In each episode, we share practical legal tips and real-life examples to help you run your pharmacy with confidence. I'm your host, Sarah Stoddart. Thanks very much for joining us. Buying a pharmacy is exciting. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Whether it's your first or your fourth, the excitement is real. And when you see your name or your company name on a PBS certificate, it makes the whole experience that much more exciting. The pharmacy is yours. You can get on with doing business and kicking your goals. However, a question we often get asked by pharmacy purchasers shortly after settlement has occurred is, when will I get my PBS certificate? We know that pharmacists need it to open supplier accounts, but they haven't seen it yet. So when can they expect it? Well, when the change of ownership application is processed by the Department of Health, the purchaser is issued with an admin number, administration number, or administration notice. It takes various terms. That number is issued earlier than settlement for the purposes of preparing the additional forms that you need. So we prepare your ABN notification form, bank account details form, etc., so that the business can be set up in the department system, obviously for claim payments, and also at a practical level so that you can arrange stationery in the lead up to completion. Immediately following settlement, so when settlement's actually occurred, the purchaser's solicitor advises the department that settlement's been completed. So that is often why there's a bit of a mad rush to settle mid-afternoon on a settlement date, because we need to get to the regulators, including the state regulator and the department. Once we've notified the Department of Health that settlement's been completed and given them any of the documents they require at that point, the delegate of the department then makes a final decision on the outcome of that application. If the change of ownership application is approved, and 99% of the time it is, the department then advises the purchaser's solicitor of that. So they will say that the application's been approved, the number will be activated, but it may take 24 hours to take effect. So what happens at that point is the admin number becomes the approval number. But what about the PBS certificate, people say? Well, the department issues the PBS certificate after settlement has been completed, and the time frame that issues in depends on the availability of the delegate to sign the certificate. We tend to see it anywhere from a couple of hours after settlement, 1 day after settlement, right up to 7 days after settlement. So sometimes it's quick, and sometimes it takes a little longer. So the timeliness, as I said, of the issue of that depends on the availability of the delegate to sign. But it will go to the purchaser solicitor, or if there was another person that lodged the application, to them, and it is issued via email, no longer issued via post. So that's good, because it means once the applicant's representative gets it, they'll be able to forward it to you. You might be thinking, but what about the suppliers who need it sooner? Well, some suppliers we're finding at the moment will accept a copy of the email from the department that contains the admin number. So that is that email that issues prior to settlement that refers to the application and the address and issues the admin number. Some of them will accept that as sufficient to set up new supplier accounts. Others will just need to wait for the certificates to issue. What is important is also to know that in the states, the processes vary. So we have had a couple of issues where suppliers are asking for certain documentation from states that doesn't actually exist. An example of that is in Queensland at the current time, which is in early 2025. We don't have a register, nor do pharmacies have a pharmacy number like they do in the southern states. So suppliers who are asking for a copy of the license or a copy of the registration number or registration certificate for a pharmacy in Queensland aren't going to get that. Of course, when the new legislation commences, we will have a register and pharmacies will have an identifier, and at that point in time we will hopefully be able to provide something. But at the moment in Queensland that can't be provided, and we only have what is available on a PBS approval certificate, which may take a little bit of time to issue. Worth keeping that in mind when you are buying a pharmacy, and expecting your certificates to come through. Know when you'll receive it. Keep an eye on your inbox, and hopefully that's helpful for you. Chat soon.